Well, this is what I bought the van for. I've got 2.5 bikes here. Well, a frame and some wheels as well. And obviously with the van it means I can just put them in complete, no dismantling required. So yes, there are 3 effectively here. This is as they come back. That's the frame. I'll get them out, and it's going to be the first proper time I've had a look at them. Okay, I'll start with this one, call it bike number 1. Now, the reason behind this little job lot, where I actually got 2 and a bit bikes for the price of 1 really, or 2, which I was quite happy with, and it fills the last remaining gap in my modest collection really, because this is a Raleigh Popular, or DL1, whatever they called it at whatever time they made them. It was either a Popular or a DL1, and this is the big boy. It's big, however you look at it. 28-inch wheels and a massive frame, and yet it is a big bike. And this is one I've wanted for quite some time, and now I've got 2 of them. This one, which is quite a later one, 1950s it's a guess, but we'll have a look at later, and an earlier one from certainly the 1930s, or at least immediately after the war. And I've just been having a look at this before starting filming, and everything about this bike is heavy duty. Everything's massively over-spec'd. I mean, the front hub, I think these used a carrier type hub. I'm filming indoors, just in case you've not heard the weather there. That's precluded any attempt of bringing these out of doors. Yeah, the carrier is the front hub being shared with the carrier, I'm sure, absolutely massive. The brakes are just standard Raleigh Industries rod brakes. It should have the anti-vibration patent shims on there, and I've got them. I've got plenty of spares, and I've already been noticing details like this. Raleigh Industries transfer there on the front mudguard. It does have a frame lock, and I've already tried all my keys that I've got. I've got 3 random spare keys, and none of them fit, unfortunately. I might have another go at that at some point later, because it might be a bit seized up. But yeah, it's got built-in lighting, and it does work, the front headlight. I've already tried that out with the dyno hub. And on the subject of lighting, it does have the dry battery unit there. So that's the DBU, which means you had to manually switch over on the headlight switch there when you came to a stand to bring the batteries online. So I'll get that working. And has it got? Yes, it does. Look at that. It's even got the battery retaining clip in the bottom. They're often missing, and it's quite common for the entire base to be rusted away, hopelessly corroded, but that's good, is that. Missing its cap, but that's common with this era, because they had a weatherproof rubber cap. You can see remains of it there, and it's sadly goes the way of all rubber through age. It's perished and is no longer there. Frame transfer, quite badly worn, but original finish, mind you. There's quite a bit of the old red pinstriping still in evidence. So that's a bit of cement or something. But yeah, I'm well impressed by how... I had no idea really how sturdy these things were. I mean, the chain is huge. That's much bigger than your 1/8 by what was it? You know, on your 26-inch wheel roadsters. I think it was 1/8 by 1/2. I don't know what this is, but it's massive. It could be a 1/4 inch, could this? It is huge. Original Raleigh pedals with the Raleigh pedal rubbers. I've got pump clips there. I've got the very pump for that. Found one at Bewley. It's a 3-speed, which is good because I don't get on with the 4 speeds. I find them too finicky in use, and you get an extra ratio that's quite useless, really, I find, with a 4-speed. The 3s are much nicer to use. Phillips handlebars, so they're replacement bars. I don't know if it would have had the sort of flatter upturn bars we're going to see on bike number 2. Maybe somebody can clarify that, or would it have had this sort of style, but Raleigh Industries, the type that were just shared with the ordinary Dawn tourists, etc. The sort of flat, well, they called them North Road-ish handlebars. I'd be interested to know what type it should have had, or would have had, and should have. The saddle, well, that's seen better days. Someone's kept it going quite ingeniously there by using another bit of a Brooks saddle as well. I think it's a B83. No, it's not. I tell a lie, it's a B66. But I've got a good replacement. Yeah, it's gonna be quite a straightforward recommission, this one. It's not gonna want much other than a strip down, repack the bearings, clean everything up. I mean, there's something going on there with the bottom bracket because the adjustable cup has been screwed right out. So something's not right there. Pump lug is slightly bent, but that'll straighten out. What else is there? Yeah, someone, as was often the case with these bikes, over the very long lifespans, it's been well used. Someone's tried to keep it going, because that looks like one of the plastic Sturmey Archer bullet type space age lights. Obviously been broken, and that's not the correct bracket. In fact, it's interfering with the gear change cable, but I've got all the stuff for that. I can sort it out, no problem. The main thing is the wiring is intact. That's the main thing. Chain guards all there. Chain adjusters too. And just before I get onto the hub date, we'll go round to the rear mudguard here. Raleigh transfer. What date is it? Right, it's a 1955, so that ties in with all the fittings. 1955, it wouldn't have had a white tail on the mudguard by 1955. There was no legal requirement for that. It had been repealed, that regulation. So somebody is, well, you can see quite crudely with, it looks like matte emulsion or something. They've daubed a white patch on and the reflector's long gone. But these are the definitely the original mudguards with that sort of rounded semicircular profile. They just hark back to the very early bikes, these do. They were sort of like, they're the forefather of everything that comes since. I think this particular model, the DL1 Popular, was Edwardian in origin, but it remained a good strong seller, so they kept it going. I think the last year they made these, still the same basic bike really, nothing much had changed on them. I think the last year they made them was about 1978. They could have made it to 1980. I'm not sure, but they were very popular. And as we have a look at bike number 2 now, we'll see the sort of, even going farther back, we'll see why they were so popular for so long. And here is bike number 2. Another big one, 28-inch wheels, but much earlier than bike number 1. And you can see it's got the raked back handlebars of the earlier style. Yes, they were popular, hence the name. Popular in many export markets where bicycles were the main transport, where motorised transport was few and far between. And they were popular because, first of all, they were big and sturdy, and secondly, they were used as beasts of burden. You could fit all sorts on those handlebars, being quite flat as they are, and they lent themselves to supporting all sorts of goods, bales of hay, God knows what. And a similar type is still made new today in certain overseas countries. So it's one of those enduring designs that was really the forefather of the modern bicycle. I'm not quite sure when you can trace the origins of this back to, but because I'm not an expert, I'm not a bicycle historian at all, but I believe when I mentioned Edwardian times, I believe this frame, this exact type with the 28-inch wheels and those handlebars, I believe it first appeared in the 1910s. So let's have a look at it. It's very much a fixer-upper in much worse condition than the other bike. And the handlebars are black painted. There's no evidence of chrome just yet. And I'm going to utilise those handlebar grips I bought from Bewley. They'll go well on this to replace these. The brake gear is quite interesting, certainly as far as rod brakes go. Somebody again has made some rather Heath Robinson repairs. I don't know why they put them on, obviously to stop the brake levers coming back too far, not sure. All will be put back to factory spec anyway in time. But yeah, the front brakes are of the rod brakes, but they're of a type I've not encountered before, because they have these sort of pivoting, I don't know what you call them, I'm not quite sure, but I think the idea is that the brake block is secured through both of these, and that is sprung as well. You see, there's a spring there, so I'm gonna have to figure out how they work. It can't be too difficult, but it does seem to be complete. It's been repainted badly, so it's lost a lot of... is there a bit of chrome, or is it silver paint? Yeah, maybe so, but it's lost all badging and transfers. Perhaps if I can carefully get this paint off, maybe the original finish will be underneath it, but that'll be a very delicate operation indeed. So still on the front end, yeah, it's certainly a Raleigh. We know that from the forks, which are actually are they crimped? Yeah, they are crimped. They're not brazed up. I don't know what year this bike is, and I can't rely on the hub, as you'll see in just a moment. It's going to have to be somebody who knows the frame numbers, but it's a Raleigh, that thing is certain. Front hub, well, the bearings are in a bad way. It's very, very loose, wobbling about all over the place, but it'll get the usual treatment. The rims on both the bikes, at first glance, are badly corroded, but looking closely, that will come up all right. They're certainly serviceable, and that's just some surface rust. There's no rot there at all, unlike that one the parts bike I bought from Bewley, the £5 parts bike, where the entire rim had rusted through. So yeah, it's definitely a fixer-upper. It does appear to be complete, but there's a lot of play in the brake gear, and this, you know, is the sort of thing that gives rod brakes a bad name, because look how far the lever's having to move before it actually operates the brake there. There's quite a lot of play in that, so I'm gonna have to sort that out. Again, no big deal. It's got the old type of seat posts there. No pedals, but that's okay because I've got plenty of them. And it does have the you can just about see it, the Raleigh Heron chain wheel there, and it's got this extra lip on the chain case, presumably to prevent oil from spewing out of there, because the entire thing is sealed up to here, you see, with this oil cap. I don't know if they were intended to be an oil bath chain case, but I certainly won't be filling it with oil. It'll just be the chain that gets oiled. There is a bit of the original finish there, red lining, and I do have one of these sliding covers here from a 26-inch Roadster. Hopefully that'll fit. But yeah, it's been bashed about. Again, history totally unknown. The bloke I bought them off didn't give much away about them. I think he just said he bought them to do up himself, but he never got around to it. But yeah, it's otherwise pretty complete. The important thing when you are buying an old bike is to buy one that is complete as possible, especially these earlier ones, because you will struggle to find any missing parts. Like these sliders for the chain case there, people take them off. I know why they take them off. It's because they can, if the chain case is out of alignment, they can catch on the spokes, so people just remove them instead of straightening things out, and then they go missing. But on this bike, they're all here. It's got a very, very deep section mudguard. Could it be something like an all-weather model? I don't know. Again, very worn. Had many repairs to keep it patched up and usable. Like the reflector, that it was possibly the bracket for the original reflector if it had one. They weren't mandatory until a certain date, but that could have been one of them old glass reflectors. Instead it's got this later clip-on one of a make I've not heard before, and it is what is it? Bantle. Let me just try and decipher that. Bantle Howick, Scotland. Not a make I'm familiar with, but there you go. And it's got the rear rack. They do come in handy, especially with the spring securing thing there for packages, etc. I've seen a couple of bikes where they've split on this bridge piece here. It must be a weakness of them, and it's been secured with wire instead. Bolt up seat stays, of course, bolt up back stays. Yeah, pump clips. What else? Yeah, Miller dynamo. Seized, absolutely solid. The ubiquitous model 56, I think, or 53. And a rear lamp that isn't a Miller. And a very sad looking, a very forlorn and battered front light. So yeah, on the other side, the rod brakes they follow orthodox practice underneath there. Although that's strange how the long rod curves down. It's been bent under the bottom bracket there. I wonder if that's how it's supposed to be. I'll upend the bike when I'm working on it. Oiler there, sans cap. But yeah, it looks pretty straight otherwise. More wire there to secure the mudguard. I might just look out for a set of replacements. They do come up for sale from time to time, especially as it's missing the front. But now going on to the piece in the puzzle, you can see that's got a plastic oil port, which means it's a much later hub, but whoever's fitted it appears to have retained the original rim, possibly, don't know, but it's certainly got the 1930s axle nuts there. So the date on the hub, I think I read it as 1960. Let me just see if I can turn it without it. Where was it now? There it is. Without it toppling over with my makeshift stand there, which is rather awkward. Right, there it is. It's 3-speed AW, and the date is stamped 1960. So it's had a new rear hub at some stage in its life. So it's a bit of a jigsaw puzzle, is this one. There's going to be a lot of sourcing of the correct parts. I'm not bothered about the hub. That, as long as that's functional, I don't care. I'm not too particular about that tallying with the date of the frame. But the next thing to do will be start stripping it down, cleaning it up, and in the immediate future find out the frame number and ask one of the helpful chaps to date it for me. And I've got a very nice saddle for it that I've had squirreled away exactly for a bike like this, which will suit it to a T. So that's it. Just an introductory video on these two new bikes, which I am now full up with, and some are going to have to go. I've done a few up that I need to put up for sale now because of space constraints, and then I can start working on these because of my small collection. I like to use all the bikes. I don't just buy them to have them sat there. I do buy them to recommission and use and enjoy them, which is what they were meant for, of course. So that's what's going to happen with this one. But before I start on this, it's going to be the bike number one, the DL1, a popular, whatever it is, the later 1950s one. That's first in the queue to be done, purely because it's in much better condition and there's a lot less to do. And whilst I've been standing here speaking, that chrome lamp bracket isn't a Raleigh one. It can't be, can it? Because it's not got the heron on it. So yeah, a bit of a puzzle, this one. A bit of a hodgepodge of stuff. See you in the next one.